Hi friends, it's Raven. As you know, I'm doing a no spend challenge for 2021 so that I can get out of debt, save some money, and hopefully buy a schoolie in the near future so that I can travel the country for a couple years. And today is February 2nd, so I'm already a month done into the year, and I felt like January was pretty successful, so I'm really excited to keep that momentum going into February. So I know it's the 2nd today, so I'm a day behind, but today I'm going to be doing a budget with me with you guys, and I'll kind of show you how I set up my bullet journal for February. I was kind of lazy this month and I didn't really do anything super fancy with it, but I'm really excited to do the budget and plan out for the month of February. So let's get into it. All right, so we have February all done, and I did get a little bit lazier this month than I did last month, so things aren't as detailed or as decorated as it was for January, but that's okay. I did like a love theme for Valentine's Day, and it's also me and my husband's 9-year dating anniversary. We've only been married for almost 3 years, but we've been together for about 9 years now already, which is crazy. And then it's his birthday, and there's just a lot going on this month, so it's a very exciting month, and I decorated it all lovey-dovey for those. So I have my calendar here, and I just marked off the days of when certain things are due, like different bills and things, and I also did like what days I get paid, which is just a nice reminder. And then down here, I did my goals. So my goals are pretty similar to last month, just because I wasn't able to stick with 100% of what I wanted from my goals last month. So, I want to read another book. I'm in the middle of the book that I tried starting in January, so I'm going to finish that very soon, and then I plan on at least reading one other book this month. We've been reading a little bit before bed every night, and I really enjoy that. It's a good quality time to spend with my husband, so we've been reading together, and I really enjoy that. So I hope to read another book this month. So I'm going to skip this one for now, but work out daily. So January, I was actually super successful with getting into the habit of working out daily, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So I want to continue that habit for this month and then do another habit that I want to start on top of that. So I have the working down daily down, but now I want to also drink more water. So I feel like I did pretty good with that in January as well, but there were a couple days that I slacked on that, or I wasn't drinking as much as I really wanted to. So, on top of the working out, I also want to drink more water daily. That's going to be my main focus for this month, is working out, or for drinking water. And then another big habit that I really want to try and focus on this month is meditating. So instead of meditating daily, just because it's hard to find the time in the day to do that between everything else going on with adding the workouts and, the reading time and all that stuff. So I want to try meditating at least 3 times a week. So I figured instead of doing it daily and, trying to focus on that, I figured if I just try to focus on doing it at least a couple times a week, that should be a good starting point. And sorry if it gets a little shaky. This little table is all that I'm using right now, and the little mount is like super sensitive to shaking. So sorry about that if it's distracting. I'm going to try and do another setup for March. So hopefully this is the only time I have to film on this little table. So then over here, I have my tracker. I really enjoyed doing it this way for January, so I decided to do that again for February. So again, I have my meditating, so I can track how often I meditate. I have my working out, so hopefully I have this pretty much filled in at the end of February. I have my water goals, so hopefully I can reach those this month. And then I have healthy food. So if I eat healthy at least 90% that day, then I plan on marking it off. So of course I'm going to have a couple little cheat meals here and there, so I'm not going to beat myself up too much on it, but I like the idea of having a healthy food category so I can keep track of that. And then for my moods, last time for January, I did a different column for my moods, but this time I saw inspiration on Pinterest to do like a little design and then color it in differently for each day. So I just did some little flowers, and then I have my like mood key right there. So each color will represent a different mood that I fill in for each of the petals. So I think that'll be really pretty once it's all filled out, and hopefully it's mostly like this pale pink color. So hopefully I'm mostly happy for February, but we'll see how it goes. And then down here, I just have my workout plan. So that way I have something to keep track of. And I know, if I forget what day is what, then I have something I can go off of for that. So now we're going to get into the budget. So again, I kind of decorated it to match the rest of the theme, but I did do it a little bit differently this month compared to January, just because I already ran into a few issues with how I set up my budget for January, so I fixed that for February. So let's get into it. Okay, so for income, I have kind of guesstimates because I don't know how much I'm going to get paid until the week I get paid, but I usually get around $1,000 per paycheck. So I have 2 paychecks coming in this month, so that's what that is going. And then the third one here, this $200, is what my husband helps out with as far as some certain bills go. He takes care of about half of our household, but there's one specific bill that I mostly pay that he helps out with, so that's where that comes in. And then for these two, I'm leaving them open just for miscellaneous income that I might not have accounted for yet. For example, we're going to be doing our taxes very soon, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting my taxes back this month or next month or how much it'll be, so I'm leaving those open for now. But my total, as far as I can predict so far, is at least $2,200 for that. Okay, and then we have my expenses. So, again, I kind of laid this out a little bit differently than I did last month. Last month I had them split up into 2 different categories. I had bills and then I had like a miscellaneous category, but this time for expenses, I just put them all under one category. So we have my rent, which is $750, my car, which I was anticipating on going back to work this month, but I got pushed back to be able to stay at home for at least another month. So I won't be using, gas or anything like that on my car yet. So that is going to be blank. And last month I ended up getting tabs, so I have no expenses coming up for my car. HH is my short term for household. So household things like toilet paper, paper towel, dog treats, things like that is going to be $60 towards that. My Adobe, that's like my Photoshop and my different programs that I use for side projects that I do, so that's $11. Storage is like online storage for like photos and documents and things like that, and that's $5. My food budget this month, I still have quite a bit in my pantry, so I'm going to try and eat as much as I can out of there. But for things like fresh produce and milk and things like that, that's going to be $60 for the entire month for me, just me. My husband pays for his own groceries and I pay for mine because we have very, very different diets, so we don't think it's fair to pay for each other's food. So my budget is going to be $60 for the month. And then I have health insurance that I pay for, which is $38. My phone bill dropped this month because one of our payments on a device got completely paid off this month. So now instead of $350, it is $330. So that's exciting that it's a little bit less. And hopefully, once I get my debts paid off, I'll be able to pay more towards our phones quicker so that those can get paid off and have those go down as well. And then my savings that I'm going to pay myself towards my emergency fund is going to be $50. And then other, I did 40s. So this is going to be for like random expenses that I totally forgot about for this month, just as like a safety net, or whatever's left over can go towards, like, my husband's birthday is this month, so maybe I'll get him like a little treat, or if we want to go out or something like that. Like, this is just random pocket money or other expenses that I might not have accounted for. And then I also left one open for something that I might forget. But my total for my expenses is $1,344. So now we have my debts, and I'm paying off my debts via the snowball method, which I'll have linked up at the top here if you guys are interested in seeing what the snowball method is. But basically, I'm paying as much as I possibly can towards this WM card. And these are just abbreviated so that I remember how they are. But this is my first credit card that I'm trying to pay off as soon as possible. And then these ones I'm just paying the minimum on. And actually, I'm paying a little bit more than the minimum on them just so I can get them paid off sooner. But usually with the snowball method, you would want to pay the minimum and then as much as you possibly can towards this card. But I'm doing it just a little bit differently. Like this one, for example, the minimum is $50, but I'm paying $100 because I have a little bit extra that I can do that. So that's an example. Or like this one, for example, is $200, so I pay an extra $20 towards that just to try and eat away at the cards a little bit sooner than possible. So card 1, card 2, card 3, and then this one is my student loans. So even though technically I don't have to pay student loans right now because of the hold on them due to the pandemic, I still am making payments on there and taking advantage of the fact that they are not charging interest right now. So I'm paying as much as I can towards that. So I'm leaving this one blank because whatever my leftover is here, I'm going to fill in there. So that way I can put as much towards that as I can. So for this card, we're going to see whatever's left over for that one. This one here is $100. This one is $220. My student loans is $130. And this one is other, just because I have others filled in here, so I added this, but this shouldn't be taking up anything. I shouldn't have to fill this one out at all because I have no other debts. So I guess this would be more or less for like if there's a medical emergency or something like that that will end up becoming a new debt. But for now, we don't have anything. So my total for now, before I fill this one in, is $450. So now at the bottom here, we're going to fill in the income minus the expenses minus the debt. Okay, so the income was that 220 or 2,200. The expenses was at 1,344, and then the debt was at 450. And then what I have left was 406, but I take away $200 of that, which I keep noted down there. So basically that $200 for me is equivalent to maxing my budget out to zero. So having $200 in my account is equal to me as having $0 in my account, just because I like having this $200 as a cushion for like a second emergency fund. So for example, my first paycheck, I won't get that until later, like towards the middle of the month. But if I have a bill that's coming up before then, I need to be able to pay it right away, and I might not have that amount between paychecks. So having this $200 will allow me to pay off bills in between paychecks. So hopefully that makes sense, but I like having at least $200 in my account at all times, no matter what, for just in case, or to be able to pay bills that might be due later on once I get paid. So that $200 I took out of that 406, so what I have left is $206. So this here is what I'm going to put towards this card here. So once I fill that in, I adjust these two numbers here so that everything is equal out to each other. Okay, so I readjusted my numbers. So now if we go over it all again, two incomes, which will be $1,000 each, roughly. I'll probably get a little bit more than that, and whatever I get extra from that, I'll either put towards that card or towards my savings. So I'll have two incomes of at least $1,000 each, the extra $200, which equals $2,200. My expenses is all of this equaled out to $1,344. So for debts, I have the $206, which is the max I can do towards that card I'd want to pay off first. the minimums off of those ones, and then that equals out to be $656 towards debt this month that I'm paying, which is awesome. So then down here is a breakdown of all of those numbers. So I have my income minus my expenses minus my debt that I'm paying off, which leaves me with that $200 as my minimum in my bank account that I'm allowing myself to have. So this is the budget that I have for February. And again, I'm leaving some open because I don't know if I'm going to be getting, I don't know if we're going to get another stimulus check or if I'm going to get my taxes back or what. But so this might completely change by the end of the month. So hopefully once we do a budget review, we will see how that goes. So that was my bullet journal and my budget for February, and I'm really excited and hopeful. I'm hoping that February will be just as successful as January, if not more successful, and hopefully I can pay off lots of debt and save lots of money. Fingers crossed. So yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up so I know what kind of content you guys want to see. And if you want to follow along on my no spend challenge, go ahead and subscribe as well so you can stay updated. Hope to see you guys soon.